believe me, just watch.
We're back on the Morning Brew with friends, and I can't believe we've never had you on either, Bruce.
Hey, well, how long is it going to take you to invite me here?
Oh, I guess a year and something.
Yeah, well, thank you. I'm very glad to be down here this morning.
Well, I want to have you guys on a whole bunch as the whole process for art gets rolling. It's Albuquerque Rapid Transit, and this is, there's a lot of people for this, a lot of people against this. You guys have been right in the middle trying to kind of get this through. We got, help me out here, because we got $80 million in federal funds, right, that are almost approved. They have to, got to wait for congressional approval, right?
69 that we're out there waiting for approval.
Okay.
We have other federal funds for projects already sort of designated for central street widening and that type, sidewalk widening, landscaping. So we're making this a corridor project. Yeah, transit is the focus, but it's more than just a transit project. We're looking at wider sidewalks, landscaping on the sidewalks, improved pedestrian lighting, resurfacing on Central from Coors to Louisiana. So it's we think a complete corridor project.
And corridor transformation is what it sounds like.
That's right.
And then there's been a lot of people have been really worried about art, and they, it's going to tear up the streets, it's going to take out parking, it's going to reroute traffic. I mean, what do you guys tell the folks that are worried about this giant project? Because it is major, and it is going to put just a bus right through the middle of Central, from 98th all the way to Tramway. Am I right?
Well, it goes from Tramway to Unser.
To Unser.
So, yeah, we'd like to get out further as we move forward, but for right now, the construction piece of it is Louisiana to Coors.
Okay.
And what we say is, yes, it's a change and it's a challenge. I mean, tearing up the main drag is definitely a change, and it's tough sledding, as the mayor would say. The folks on Central who own businesses, I understand. There's been a lot of businesses, however, go out of business. It's almost weekly, unfortunately. But if you look at this as, yes, it's a transit project, it's a complete streets project, but it's also an economic development project as well.
I think I've been looking at it a little bit as a $70 million stimulus project is how we can look at it for Albuquerque, right?
Right. Well, I mean, you can look at it, $120 million will be spent on the corridor. I mean, what we'll be doing in terms of, like Bruce was mentioning, the landscaping and the widening sidewalks. It's going to feel like a main street. We go to other cities and enjoy doing the whole al fresco dining and stuff, and we'll actually have room, for example, in Nob Hill to do just that.
Well, I know that I would love to be able to put some tables outside the Flying Star and just be able to hang out there. It'd be awesome.
Right,
But right now you do that and you're
on top of traffic practically. And people are flying through there.
Right.
Yeah.
You can walk out in the evening, you have good pedestrian lighting, a good ambiance, just to walk and do window shopping and actually go in the store and buy some items.
That's great. Well, so when does construction start? It's early this year already, right?
Well, we're looking tentatively at the end of May. Okay. We hired Bradbury Stam as the construction manager at risk, which means they'll basically orchestrate all the construction. So they're looking at how is the best way, the best economically, best in terms of the different teams working together along the corridor, how best to implement this and not impact business as much as possible. I mean, we will, but as much as possible. Because we've promised that we don't want to be in front of a business any more than 30 to 60 days. So that's quite a promise, and we'll always have the one lane open in each direction. So they're trying to figure out how they'll implement that.
Well, that could be 1/6 of a company's annual return is, 30 to 60 days.
And that's the challenge in the schedule, and make sure when construction isn't happening during a major shopping center or holiday season. So with a 9-mile stretch, you have to figure out where you can have construction, minimize the impact, and have communications with the property owners. One of the commitments we've made is that we will keep you informed as to the construction schedule, when we're going to be in front of your business, estimate how long we'll be there, and we have a 24-hour hotline. So if you have any questions, any concerns, there'll always be a person there to answer the phone and either answer the question, or if they can't answer it, get your name and phone number and call you back with the information that you're requesting.
Great. Well, I know that one of the things people always keep asking me is, well, when does my part of Central get torn up? And we don't know that quite yet, do we?
I don't.
It's a large project, but are we going to start east to west, west to east, middle to out?
We'll probably have to have some construction going on different parts of the corridor at the same time. But we're looking at a 14-month construction period. It's not like light rail and so forth where you'd be looking at years. We're looking at months.
Right. And that's one of the things you mentioned, light rail. This is one thing I heard the mayor talk about this. This is kind of an intermediary step between buses like the Rapid Ride and light rail, right? Because the way it works is the bus just is able to shoot right through traffic, right through all the lights, but it's the same width. And it's the same kind of basically track size as a light rail, right? So is this setting us up like for 10, 15 years down the line for light rail?
But the thing about it is, it's the best solution for our community. It's pennies on the dollar. People love light rail. I mean, I come from a train family. I would love to be part of instituting light rail. But it's pennies on the dollar. If you look at bus rapid transit, it's a lot, $10 million a mile, but when you start talking light rail, you're talking $100 million, $80 to $100 million a mile.
Wow.
So, yeah, right?
That's huge.
Yeah, we would never, I mean, maybe someday way in the future we'd be able to do that, but we can get the same development from a bus rapid transit project as you could a light rail.
Right, right.
And let me mention that the buses aren't shooting through
Right.
intersection or on the street. We're going the speed limit or below, but the advantage with the dedicated lanes and the transit single priority is that we do get advantage over the general population, if you would, at the intersections to get through there first. And by having the dedicated lanes, it's more predictable in the travel time. So if the schedule says 15, 16, 17 minutes, the predictability of taking that long is a lot higher with this type of service than without.
So can I scoop my car like right in behind the bus and draft
No,
and get...
there will be no drafting.
Okay.
There'll be no drafting. But I do want to tell you, because what he's referring to is really the dependability of the service. Because like just last week, I understood that a young man goes, I don't know what school it is, but anyway, he takes the rapid ride to school every day, and it's congested, and so he's ending up tardy 3 days out of 5. So he's ending up spending his lunch break in detention because he's late for
Because
school.
the bus is slow. And,
Right. So but on the rapid transit project, you'll be able to depend on what time it'll be there at both ends.
Right. Well, I'm a super fan of buses because I'm able to take them from downtown where I live. I hop up to Nob Hill and you have a cocktail. You don't worry about it. You ride the bus right back down.
Right.
Put my bicycle in the front of it. I love that. Bicycle racks, are they going to be on these?
Inside.
Oh, you can take your bike inside these. Oh, that'll be great. That'll be really cool. So what's going to happen with that underpass on Central? I know that it's been a long time discussion of something that's got to happen there. Where are we on that?
Well, the underpass is going to remain. I mean, right now our buses travel underneath the underpass, and that's going to remain the same right now. As you're aware, that's a major undertaking if you want to put at grade or do any changes, and it's more governmental entities. The New Mexico Department of Transportation owns the bridge and the tracks.
It literally takes an act of Congress, doesn't it, to like do that?
Well, I don't know about that far, but it's going to be time-consuming and a lot of money, and they work with the railroads.
Right.
So, fortunately for this project, that's the good part about BRT, the flexibility of it. We don't need to worry about that underpass right now. The buses can travel underneath. If we did something else, that would probably be a concern given the height and the elevations. But right now, it's practice is sort of normal with the bus service.
Right. I was up in Santa Fe yesterday, and I was walking across their rail yard, and it was so great just to walk back and forth on the tracks. And I was thinking, wow, if we can only get that here in Albuquerque, it would be very cool. Yes. But there was a Tiger Grant proposal a while back. Is that still in play?
No, we didn't get it this year, but next year perhaps. It's just it's so competitive, like this Small Stars is. It's so competitive, and for the few federal dollars that are out there. But that speaks highly to our project because we scored very high for a medium-sized city. We did great.
Yeah.
So that's exciting too.
Cool. And then just quickly, I know that one of the things in Albuquerque is buses aren't cool in Albuquerque. You go to Chicago, you go to D.C., you go to New York, you just ride the bus, you ride public transportation. How do you go about changing that attitude in Albuquerque that buses can be a good alternative and a good way to get around town? How do you change that long-standing attitude
You need to feel comfortable, you need to feel safe.
Right.
But you also need to have some amenities, and we're planning to have charging docks, charging stations for your toys in the bus. And there's a possibility we might even get electric. We've got an RFP out right now that is diesel and electric.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Super quiet, super silent. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. We'll be back in a couple of seconds in the Morning Brew.